Today's case takes us to Talladega, Alabama, a small southern town with deep roots and a name almost everyone recognizes. It is known for the Talladega Superspeedway. But just beyond that famous track lies the Talladega National Forest, a sprawling, peaceful stretch of more than 390,000 acres of pine, waterfalls, and winding mountain trails. It's a place where people go to disconnect, to camp, hike, and recreate outdoors. The name Talladega carries a long, complicated history. Its name comes from the Muskogee language, from the Native Americans who lived in the area long before they were forced out in the 1830s. Before the land was bought by the federal government in the 1930s, the area that comprises the Talladega National Forest was extensively logged and represented some of the most abused, eroded wastelands in all of Alabama. Nature healed itself slowly, like it always does, and today pine forest regrowth now hosts a diverse ecosystem and unique natural features like Cheaha Falls and Talladega Scenic Drive. It was in this same forest, nearly a century later, that something tragic would unfold, something that would change the lives of two young people forever. On August 14, 2022, it was a beautiful day in the forest, and two college students from Florida, Adam Simji and Michaela Paulus, were enjoying one last road trip before classes resumed at the University of Central Florida. They were young, adventurous, and deeply in love. They loved exploring new places, enjoying the beautiful views, and the simplicity of life on the road. Adam's dad had given him a minivan, and the two used it often for weekend trips, sleeping under the stars and parking wherever the road took them. On this trip, they were heading north, planning to stop by Cheaha State Park before making their way to Eureka Springs, Arkansas, to see the Victorian houses. That morning, they woke up at an Alabama Welcome Center, and Michaela took the first driving shift as they set out for Cheaha State Park. Along the way, they experienced some car trouble. The van's gas gauge began acting up, so Michaela called her dad, who was a mechanic, and after a small fix, they got back on the road. Nothing about that morning felt unusual. They then headed for Bald Rock Lookout, a beautiful place for scenery and photos, where Adam asked a fellow nature lover to take their photo. The couple are pictured smiling against a backdrop of rolling green hills and endless sky. It would be the last picture they ever took together. After leaving Bald Rock, they headed towards Devil's Den Falls, a beautiful area known for its waterfall hike. It was somewhere along that forest road they noticed a woman standing on the shoulder, waving them down. At first, Michaela drove past, but something made the couple turn around to check on her. The woman said her car had broken down and asked if they had jumper cables. Adam told her they did. She asked them to follow her on foot down a small path to where her car was parked. Both Adam and Michaela were uneasy. Something about it felt wrong. Adam tucked his gun into his waistband as they followed her, saying, "This is how people get robbed." The couple walked about the length of a football field into the forest before spotting a purple Scion parked in the trees. Adam tried to help start the car, but quickly realized the steering wheel was locked and the key wouldn't start the engine. When Michaela called her dad, he immediately told her it sounded suspicious, maybe even a stolen vehicle. Knowing they couldn't help with the car, Michaela asked the woman if there was anything else they could do. And that's when everything changed. The woman looked at them and said, "Yes, you can put your hands up." She pulled out a gun and forced the couple deeper into the woods, making them sit by a log. She began recording audio, demanding their bank account numbers and PINs. At one point, when she lowered her gun, Adam saw his chance. He courageously drew his own weapon and ordered her to get on the ground, shouting, "Get on the ground! Get on the ground!" Instead of listening, she fumbled with her gun, and then shots rang out. Gunfire echoed through the forest as Michaela screamed for them to stop, but it was too late. Adam shouted, "I'm shot," before collapsing. When the chaos ended, both Adam and the woman were hit. She had been shot once, Adam twice. Michaela immediately called 911, her voice trembling as she begged for help. The woman, still armed, told Michaela she didn't want to live. Michaela, even in her shock, tried to keep her calm, telling her to stay alive and move away from the gun. At one point, the woman yelled into the forest, "Amani, Crystal, they shot me." A second woman appeared briefly, saying she didn't have anything on her, before disappearing into the trees. Michaela stayed on the phone with 911 for 30 minutes, performing CPR for more than 15 of them, begging Adam to hold on. His last words were, "I'm shot." 2 minutes later, he went silent. She would later describe hearing his death rattle, a sound she'll never forget. Volunteer firefighters were the first to arrive. Michaela, still in shock and covered in Adam's blood, pointed out the shooter and tried to explain what happened. She even posted a photo of her hand on Snapchat later that day, in a moment of disbelief, trying to process something no one should ever endure. Paramedics confirmed what Michaela already knew. Adam was gone. Police arrived and Michaela met a female officer named Shannon, who comforted her and stayed by her side during the drive to the station. Shannon talked to her about random things, a story about a bat in her truck to keep her grounded, and for a moment Michaela felt like maybe the universe had sent Shannon to her, as Michaela had a bat tattoo. Later, Michaela asked if police had found the crystal the shooter called for. Shannon said yes, they had used tracking dogs and found Crystal Pinkins living off-grid nearby. When officers approached, they were met by her 5-year-old son holding a shotgun. Thankfully, he put it down without anyone being hurt. The shooter was identified as Yasmin Marie Hyder, just 21 years old. Crystal Diane Pinkins was the second woman, and the child's mother. Their off-grid campsite was filled with weapons and supplies. Both women were charged with murder, kidnapping, and robbery. And in October of 2023, Hyder pled guilty and was sentenced to 35 years in prison. In January 2024, Pinkins was found guilty at trial and sentenced to life in prison. Today, Michaela is safe with her family, still missing Adam every day.
If you've made it this far, thank you. And if you've enjoyed our content, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. We will be uploading once a month and will be focusing on solved true crime cases. We hope you join us for our next video. And also, if you have any case suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. We look forward to hearing from you. Bye.